Hi, how's it going? Today I'm gonna talk about the inversions in Brazilian music because there are different languages that use the inversions, and this is part of the harmonic language of some styles. To play Brazilian music without knowing anything about inversions in some styles, you're gonna be sounding out of the language. So this is it's not a difficult subject, but it's important to know, and it can help your harmonic players, bassists, and also soloists, because I realize sometimes that soloists don't recognize these chords when they are playing by ear. They and most of the times I realize foreign musicians interpreting like another chord. So it's important for you that is working on Brazilian music to work your ear to recognize the inversions. Today I'm gonna talk about the use. How can I using some styles to be presented to the inversions, and I'm gonna give you some tips of how to study them. Alright, so I was thinking to start by Samba. I was thinking in this Samba, that's composition of Toquinho and Vinicius de Moraes. For example, here we have, besides having an A sus and A7, let me play again. Besides having this A sus and A7, we have a G minor 7 with B flat on bass, and after that A7, and it creates a more interesting motion movement in the bass. This first inversion I showed you has the purpose of creating some kind of reharmonization, and there are others that are important to create interest in the harmonies, because the harmonies of Samba most of the times they are simple, and so the inversions can create some connection between the chords, and at the beginning of the Samba we have an interesting use of inversions. For example, this to create one pedal point. For example, this A minor, B with the 7 on bass, B, A on the bass, created one pedal point that sounds a little mysterious. We have also one song. I don't play this tonality. So I created one pedal point with the inversion of the bass. This is one very interesting function. But there is one more common and important, that is true when you are when you have just one harmony for many measures. You can create more interested in this harmony, change the inversions. For example, we have two there are two measures of E7 here after this. So besides being with the G sharp on the bass, I create here. That the inversions were used to create more interest between the chords. Let me show you chord by chord. E7 with E sharp, E7 with E on bass, A7, we can go to C sharp, to go to D minor, A7, A7 with D sharp on bass, or the D and a D minor after that. Or we can create other motion, for example, A7, A7 with G and bass, D minor, and we can complete with D minor with F on bass, and after that with D on bass. Let's hear the both. We have one chromatic motion, and between G we would have E7, G7, and there is this case of inversion that we transform a flat ninth chord in a diminished chord. This is a very common chord used in Brazilian music. For example, I was in G, I go to G sharp, and after that I resolve on A minor. It's other kind of dominant chord based on inversion. Play the samba, changing the inversions, because the harmony gets much more rich. Let me play without the inversions to you see. Most of the times you're won't find the inversions written, all right? So I encourage you to experiment, because they are gonna help you in finding new ways to play the samba or another styles like choro also. Choro it's gonna sound very good also when we use the inversions. Later we're gonna talk a little bit more about the choro. Alright? So showing the inversions. chorus part. Let me play the inversions. It's a good idea, just play them without inversions first. How the harmony behave itself with the inversion. Connected, and they are very simple solutions. So I recommend you to work on the sambas. You're gonna find few chords, but search for the inversions to connect. And if you don't know how to connect them, the secret is connected by neighbor tones. The note of the inversion can be next to the note of the next chord, or can be next of some inversion of the next chord. Alright, if you wanna see more about that, just write for me. I'm gonna post some examples to you see. If you are the bassist, you can study improvising the different inversions, starting the chords by another notes, and try to create new ways for one chord to arrive at the next. All right. Let me in choro we have the same thought about the inversions. That's very important, there is one instrument that is often used to connect the chord, that is the 7th string guitar. Besides, for example, I'm playing now this choro. Connect the notes the same way, so but we can create some the 7-string guitar, and I'm connecting the different inversions. The base is the same of Samba. Is to change the chord, to create interest in this chord, and to connect often by neighbor tones. This is one rule that when you think about the connection of the chords through the neighbor tones, it's gonna sound good, it's gonna sound well. And there are some melodic cliches that we can use to help in this way, this path of the bass. For example, some scales we can use. Explore this, and if you want to know more about these lines, choro lines in the bass, but just write for me. We are gonna have one live just about the 7-string guitar and how to construct lines, even if your instrument is not a 7-string guitar. All right, how is the build, how they are built. All right. And other style that often uses inversion is Bossa Nova. Bossa Nova uses interesting inversions, and I remind this 251 that a lot of people play wrongly, of the B section of wave. Let me remind you. Section, and we have many people plays as. So G minor, C7 and F, F minor, B7 and E, and E flat major. So these are common 2/5s, but if you hear the recording of Tom Jobim that was very passionate about harmonies, you're gonna realize that he didn't use the common solution, this common solution. He uses this. So let's continue. This 2/5s, G minor, C7, and forms on G minor, C7 with the B flat on bass, and the F is transformed on A minor 7 or F major 7 with A on the bass. After that we play the B sus, B7 with the A flat on bass and G minor 7. Hear the difference. The common. this. I realized some instruments of melodic instruments that doesn't realize so much. So when we are playing inversions, sometimes they don't seem to realize this, and they choose some notes that aren't very good to improvise in these chords. And because, for example, if you have an E flat with G on bass, the G will be a like root of the chord. It's not the real root, but can be interpreted as, and the melodies won't sound so interesting if you stop in the G note. All right. Sometimes also you have the notes of the chord. You're gonna sound well when you are improvising more than tensions, because you have another note on the bass. All right. There is some use of the inversions to create harmonizations, like this I showed you. For example, we have 1 2 5 1 D minor, G7, and after that C major. And we can use, for example, we can put the G under the D minor 7 and create one G sus 7, 9th, 13th, and everybody else. And we can go to G7 over F and resolve on C major 7 with A on bass. Let me show the difference. This is a common 2/5. Harmonization using the inversion. Normal 1 again. Ordinary 1. Harmonization with inversions. Other harmonization we can use. For example, besides D minor 7, G7, and C major, we can use D minor with the A on bass. It's gonna be G with A flat on bass. It's the flat 9th on bass of the dominant chord. That's gonna sound like F minor with the A flat on bass, and we add the C7 with G on bass. with the same bass, so you can create amounts of different versions of the same harmony. And to end this live, I'm gonna suggest you to take one simple melody in Brazilian music and try to explore doing harmonies with the inversions of the bass. For example, if you take the song Asa Branca, and when I'm stopped doing one chord, I'm trying to change the inversion. For example, I was in C major, and you don't need to change the chords every chord one measure. You can create some solutions to arrive where you want to arrive. For example, I have to go to C, starting by in the C chord, and I have to go to F. C within the bass, so I arrived in F. So I want to arrive in G. So Asa Branca is a very simple melody to you to start. Some maracatu melodies also will be simple to do this. Some traditional melodies are good, excellent examples to you study this kind of harmonization. So I hope you have opened your eyes more about the inversions and the use. And if you didn't understand anything or want to know something in a more detailed way, just write in the comments. I'm gonna have pleasure to answer you and help you in this process of learning Brazilian music in an authentic way. So if you have doubts with the improvise also in inversion chords, just write in the comments, alright? Thanks for watching, and see you tomorrow for more quick tips and lives about the Brazilian accent and improvisation. Bye bye.